I'm in the middle of my Christmas decorating. We've got the tree done. Now I've got all this to figure out where to put somewhere. I really love to decorate for Christmas. I got it from Granny when I was a girl. She loved to decorate. She would make little snowy scenes around the house and put out different vases and fill them with greenery and do all those kind of things. And I really enjoy doing that too. And it is a lot of work, but it's just something that I love to do. And I enjoy it so much that I like to do it. We start pretty quick after Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is over, and that way we get to enjoy it for a longer period of time. Once Christmas is over, I'm pretty much ready for it to all go away immediately. But I really enjoy every year pulling out all the stuff and deciding what I'm going to put where. So most of my Christmas decorations were either handmade. They come from Granny, she give them to me, maybe from Miss Cindy or a friend, or at a yard sale or a thrift store or something like that I found them. Or over the years people would give us stuff and maybe just they're cleaning out something, they say we can have it and go through it and see if we want anything, and that's where some of the things come from. There are a few things that I've bought over the years. Most of the time if I'm buying Christmas ornaments or something like that, I look on the clearance after Christmas, so that's how I would pick up some of the stuff. But a large majority of it either come from Granny or we made it. Granny made it, I made it, or one of the girls made it. And as you can probably see here from my table that I've got crammed full of stuff, I love Christmas trees. Christmas trees are probably my favorite decoration. And over the years I've collected quite a few. Now my favorite ones, some of my favorite ones would be one like this one. I'll put it up close, see if you can see it. So Granny made this one. It's one of her that I've had for a long time. So she's got a styrofoam base, and then she's crocheted these kind of like a roping, and then just wound it around it and put it in with pins. And at one time it had a star or something. I can see some glue right there, but it's long since been lost. So I really love that one, and I have several of those. Find me a place to put them. You can see here's another really big one. Kind of a different shade of green that she made. I also have, and I don't have them out this year, but I have some red and white ones that are just like that she made. But I swap out each year what I use because I have so many things. Let's see, here's some more. Here's one that she made several years back, and she's put little spangles on it so you can see it. I really love it. It's kind of much shorter. Here's another one that she made. This is a different design. It's kind of like it was crocheted with maybe she crocheted a whole piece of something and put it over the base, and then she wound this other little roping around it. It's especially pretty. And that reminds me, there's one missing. No, there it is. Right there it is. Okay. It's not missing after all. Here it is. This is the one I was thinking of. I know there's one with red roping. So that one, and she just used little push pins to push in the things, but then that just push in the roping, but then that just makes it look like decorations. So I love those. Here's a few. Granny every year comes up with new designs, and she made these last year. They're kind of knobby on the outside looking. Let's see, there's that color. She made green, and they've still got their stars. I hadn't lost them yet, but I probably will eventually, be like the others. And then she even made some pink ones, which are really, really kind of neat. Really a bright spot of color. So some of my other ones that just come from Granny that are really old would be this old bottle brush one. And it's kind of seen better days, but I just love it, and I love the color. I usually end up leaving this one up for the rest of the winter just because it's really, really pretty. And then there's two of these, and they're just cheap plastic. I mean, but I just love them because they were Granny's, and I remember her having them. And you can see I had to glue this one back together, and I've got some pieces of glue on it. I seen them one day in her back room, and I said, could I have those Christmas trees that are back there? And she said, I don't even know what you're talking about. So I went and got them and showed them to her, and she said, sure, you can have them. So I love those. I was trying to find, I've got another, this one. This one is a little blue one. It used to sit in Granny and Pap's bathroom. Their bathroom was blue, so it matched the bathroom, and it sat there all year round, not just at Christmas. So she gave me that one too. So here's another one from Granny's, and again, I seen it in her back room, and she let me have it. It's not as old. I don't remember it from childhood. I'm not sure where she got it. It's got a sticker on the bottom, but it don't say where. But it's just pretty because of the snow on the boughs of the tree there. So I really love that one. I think this little one come from Granny too, and it's actually used to go on something, but the bottom has broke. I think Corey broke it accidentally for me one year. Not for me, but she accidentally did. But the tree's still pretty, so we still use the little tree part. Put it back right there. So then last year, Corey got me this really pretty one. I think it's vintage. I think it's an older one, but we don't know exactly. I think she got it off of Etsy or eBay or something like that. It kind of reminds you of, I have the frogs, like if you've probably seen them, that hold your scrubber around your sink. It's that same kind of ceramic. That's what it reminds me of. So I really love that one. And pleasant surprise, I had forgotten about it since last Christmas. So when I was dragging this out, I was like, oh, I forgot about that beautiful little tree. So I love that one. Over the years, kind of at those clearance racks and things like that, I've picked up a lot of little bitty bottle trees, little ones like that we set around all over the place. We've got tons of them, or I do. I especially like that color, that brown one. And here's a green one. And then the ones that we made, these are some that me and Corey and Katie made several years ago. It's been a long time. They've seen better days, but they're still pretty. This one is just a styrofoam cone. You can see all the glue that we've got still on it. And then it's just coffee filters. We just cut coffee filters and glued them around. And I think that turned out pretty. Here's another version of that, is we wrapped white. I think that's like that packing material that comes out of your stuff you buy sometimes, and then put some twine around it and put us a pine cone on top of it. Whoops. And then this year, oh, I'll share one more that's handmade, but we didn't make it. Matt got me this for Christmas a couple of years ago, and I think that Sally Blankenship made it. Corey, does that sound right? It's pretty. So it's just the, you know, and I love it because it packs up real nice, and it's just a felted, this part. So that one's really pretty. I like it. It's kind of unique, but I really love it. Put it right there. So then this year, which is unusual for me, but me and Corey and Katie got to go to Gainesville, Georgia. We had to go, and we got to go shopping, and we hit a store that had a really great Christmas sale on. And so while we were there, I just couldn't resist. I thought, well, I do want to treat myself. It was a really good sale. So I got some bottle trees. Let's see, no, I didn't get that there. I got this tree there. Bottle trees, I'll tell about in a minute. So it looks like it's wood, but it's actually like a ceramic, but it was really pretty and really pretty cheap. And then this one that's wire, that's really pretty. I really love it. So I did buy those new. And these bottle trees, these 3 bottle ones, again, me and Corey and Katie was shopping. I get in trouble when I go shopping with them. We were actually just going to get groceries, but we had to go in Walmart to get Granny something. And I got these at Walmart. So just some larger bottle trees. And then I have various little ones, again, that this just ended up somehow over the years that we've collected here and there. People give us, or I bought on the clearance rack or something like that. Here's one more tree, and I'll quit talking about the trees. It's kind of broke right there, but I think it's okay. And I don't really remember where I got this one, but I've had it a long time, and it's just wire, and this is fake at the bottom. It's just fake. It's really ceramic, made to look like wood. I do have, if I could find it, some other little trees that me and Matt made. We didn't actually make the, here they are. Didn't make the tree, but we get to, I like these because this is what Matt made for me. So he went outside and found a branch and cut it in rounds, and then he drilled a little hole in it. So simple. And so this is all I have to keep to decorate with. And then all I need to do is go out on the bank and cut me a little piece of white pine and then stick it in that, and then it's like a little Christmas tree. And then once the pine dies or starts falling off, I can throw it away and go get another one, or just put the, you know, maybe it'll make it all till Christmas, and if it does, then throw it away at the end of the season, and then just put these little pieces of wood up until next year. So those work really well. So that's some of my trees. I might get Corey to come over here, Corey, and help me and kind of set them over to this is my buffet in the kitchen. That's where I love to set up all my big collection of trees. So I'm gonna get Corey to put some of them over there just so I have more room to see what I'm actually doing. Because we know that's where they're gonna go. It's a lot of fun to figure out each year where I wanna put what. Corey and Katie, when they were younger, sometimes I'd let them decide where they wanted what. And that was always fun too. I mean, Corey will have to figure out how we want to arrange them once we get them over there. This is a funny, whoops, you're gonna take that one. Here's some jingle bells, and I've had this forever. I don't remember where I got it. And one year I put it on the door, the front door, and every time somebody opens the door, it jingles. And I really, truthfully, my mischievous side, I keep putting it there because Matt doesn't like it. They get on his nerves. So I put it there anyway just to tease him. So that's where that one will go. So then when it comes to some of the things that I've made, there's lots of things that Granny made. Here's another one. She just sewed that up, the kids' holiday recipe book. There's actually a holiday recipe book that she made that's out of cloth when Corey and Katie were babies, so I have that put up. But I just hang this usually somewhere, usually right over there on that door. There's another one, Christmas carols, little things to hang. But here's some of the things that I made. So I love to do like collage work and folk art, and I used to do it on the scale to where I went to festivals and actually sold it. I don't do that anymore, and I miss it. I miss it a lot, and maybe someday I'll do it again. But here's just a very simple one where it's just an old Christmas card, and then I've added the 25th, printed that out, and then put the little ribbon just in a frame. So really simple, but one that I really like. Here's one here's another one in a frame. So this one is in a white frame, and those people in that photo, they're actually part of Miss Cindy's family. Now I don't know who they are, but they were in her grandmother's photo album. It didn't say on the back who they were. Maybe someone in her family who didn't live near her and they didn't see very often because Miss Cindy didn't know either. And then I just added the little sparkly snowflake, Merry Christmas, and a little snowman in the corner. And I usually hang this one in the living room. So here's another one, very, very simple again. That's like an old Santa there. And then I just added the little rick-rack and then the little piece that says 25 on it. And this was, I made it in 2010. This was one I must have made to sell, and probably it didn't sell, and that's why I kept it, or maybe I decided to keep it. And then it was already on this little, I'd look for these little wooden plaques like at yard sales and things like that. And then I would repurpose them so that I could sell them. And so that was one. There's no telling what was on there under the Santa, but that's the one I made. Or that's what I put on this one. Okay, I have a few other ones that I made. Corey will have to hand me one I see over there. Now this one again was like just a little box I got at a yard sale, and it actually had some stuff in it, and I tore all that out, and then I put the collage back in it. I put this Joy to the World. I have this little tree right here, and they're kind of that little angel. That was in a card that I had, and I've reprinted it so many times. It's really a pretty one. There's kind of a little looks like maybe a camel, a little trinket that would have been on a necklace, and of course I put the 25th, and there's something that's fell off because I see some glue right there, so I'm not sure. And then that little silver, if you can see it, that little silver ball there, kind of, that is actually one year, because I was always doing stuff like this. Corey and Katie, of course, loved to create is what we called it, or what they called it, and we would spread a sheet over the kitchen table, and we drag all this kind of stuff out, and the glue gun and glue, and put music on, and we would just create. And that was one year when they was wanting to make Christmas ornaments and things, and so I don't remember which one of them thought of it, but both of them. They kept all their wrappers from chewing gum, like Juicy Fruit or Spearmint or something like that, and then they stuffed them with cotton and just wound them up around it, so that made a little silver ball. So that's one of those little silver balls that they made that year, which is really sweet. So on this one, really sweet. Kind of says Merry Christmas in the back, and there's a tree that I've made out of a piece of music, probably from a songbook. And then the little guy with his holding his I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's a tree, and a little drum and a star. So that one's nice too. And that's just done in the inside of like a little paper box. It would have had a lid back then that I used. So that's the one I made. And I come by making things like that honest, wanting to make Christmas trees and do different little collages and things like that, because Granny and Pap did that a lot. Granny did it all the time. She's very creative. But at Christmas, lots of times Pap would help her. So I've got an example of something. One year they decided they were going to make Christmas trains. So Pap helped her cut out all the little pieces of wood. Here's one of the cars on this one. You can see that they put some little rickrack supposed to be on the tires of the train, you know, and then decoupaged and put this, and it had like fake candy in the top. Put the little things, and here's this one still got its presents in it, you can see. So they made these, and they were really pretty. This is the one that was mine. Here's the caboose. They cut out all those little pieces and put them together. And my caboose is missing his little Santa Claus. It's supposed to have a little Santa Claus right there, so I'll have to find him and put him back. But they made those, and Granny sold them for like, I think, $20. She had a little money-making thing going that Christmas. So that was really nice. Here's another one that they made. This is just I think he made this one just for us to play with. So it's got the little thing on the front. But they were always doing stuff like that. So while they were doing that, of course, I was like Corey and Katie were when they were little. I was wanting to be part of that creative process and be in on the fun. And so one year, when they were making the trains, I think it is, and they had them all spread out in the basement, they said, well, here, we'll give you this, and you go over there and you play. They give me some stuff, and you figure out what you want to make. Well, this is what I made. So I had those little pieces of wood, and then I just wrapped them in ribbon. I had those little Santa Clauses that Granny gave me. I wrapped a little piece of wood in fabric and put a bow around it so it could be a present, and that's what I made. And I made this one. It's just like that one, kind of. I put it's like little fake greenery under their feet on this one. And then I think I made this one for Granny. And then last year or year before, she gave it back to me. I found it down there at her house. So it had a little sleigh. Pap didn't make that sleigh. Of course, he didn't make the Santa Clauses either. Anyway, so those are really old. I was probably maybe 11 or 12 or something when I made them. So lots of great memories for sure in them. Here's one more that I made back when I was making stuff. This was one of my favorite things. This was in 2010 too. It was like a little wooden box. And I don't know if you can see, it's really faint, but where I painted it, and then I used it was a paper towel to like take off some of the paint, so it left that kind of snowy looking print. And then on the front, put just an old picture and some little trinkets to go with it. So I really love that one. Somewhere along the way, I've had these for years, and I always get them out on the year that I'm going to use my gold things. I had these, I think they come from Cato's, it seems like maybe. I don't remember if I bought them or Granny bought them on clearance and give them to me. 2 little baskets, there's 2 of them. And then, of course, I've just stuffed them full of Christmas-like greenery over the years. Here's another thing that Granny made. And somewhere, and I don't know where it's at, I looked for it today and I couldn't find it. This material, Granny made this. You can kind of see it's kind of Christmas material. It's pink, but it's got Christmas ornaments and things on it. And then she stuffed it and put these little button things on it and put the bow on it. And this was for Corey and Katie's bathroom. So there was a tree though, and I've got to find the tree. It was stuffed and it's set up by itself. And then this one usually would hang on their cabinet in their bathroom. And she made that one especially just for them. So I need to find that. One of my favorite things that I put out every Christmas, let's see if I can reach over here and grab it, is this beautiful nativity scene. And it actually come from Miss Cindy years ago. Corey and Katie were just babies. She had a wonderful friend named Bill Green. Very good to me and Matt, he was. When he found out that I was going to have Corey and Katie and I didn't have a rocking chair, he went and bought one so I'd have a rocking chair in their nursery. He was a very, very kind man. But he passed away, and when he did, some of his things, whoops, dropped one of my little rounds. His family gave to Miss Cindy, and some of them were Christmas things because they were going to sell his house, you know, and all that. They lived somewhere else, and so that's where this come from. So it's really well made, a really well made nativity scene. See, it says Germany on the bottom of it, but so that's the little barn part, and then it has all these wonderful carved, you know, the wise man carved. The wonderful Mary, even the wonderful, you know, the manger and the baby Jesus. And then it also has, it's just my favorite thing, has animals. So it has animals that go with it too. So that's just one of my very favorite things at Christmas, and really I just really treasure it. It's just beautiful. So I always put that out for sure. Let's see if I can set it back in that chair without breaking it. These are some Matt's aunt and uncle. They were always good about buying the girls something. Usually every year they would buy them. And this is where these little snowmen, 3 little snowmen come from. And I usually put those in Corey and Katie's bathroom. There's a lot of little tiny things like that Corey and Katie have that their Matt's Aunt Wanda bought them every year. She would buy something like that for them for Christmas, just so I guess she knew that someday they could keep them and it'd be part of their collection. This is actually one of them too. I don't remember if it was Aunt Wanda or Aunt Jimmy that bought that for the girls, but there's 2 of them, so that's one. I'd actually told Corey she could take that one home because there's 2 of them. This is a really pretty, talking about the nativity. Miss Cindy bought me these. They're kind of different looking, but I really like them. They're tall and narrow, and I mean, they may have come from somewhere as simple as the dollar store. I'm not sure where they come from, but I like those. And here's a plate, and I can't remember where I ended up with this one. 1972 though. It's really pretty. Limited edition collection series, JCPenney it says on the back, but it's just so vibrant and pretty, and then all the beautiful colors, so I really love that one. Another nativity scene that I always put over in my corner over here, Miss Cindy gave it to me too, and it's just beautiful. It's just lovely. And it's just really tiny though, and really delicate little figurines. Let's see if I can set it up. So there's Mary, and then it's got the little nativity too, the little manger. And I have this really old doily that was from my Granny Gazzy, and I usually set it on that. So that's a really, really pretty one, and one of my favorite Christmas items for sure. So another thing that's right here center front that you can probably see are these Santas or woodsmen, whatever you want to call them. I guess they're supposed to be Santas, but I really love those. I have 2 of them. I have that one, and I have this one. Whoops. And one of them, Matt's stepmother Janet, she gave me one of them. She loves things like that too. And one of them I found at a yard sale in Canton, out there where they live. So I was at a yard sale, and it was in the middle of the summer. We had flip-flops on, and I think me and Corey and Katie were coming. We were either coming home from staying with Papa and Nana, or either going. And we seen it right on the side of the road, just literally like, you know, 2 minutes from their house, and we stopped, and that's where I found the Santa. Though I was so excited. One other thing I'll show you, and then me and Corey's going to have to get to work. She's going to help me. Katie's in the basement putting up stuff. This is Katie's busiest time of the year, as you might imagine. If you're into sales, that's when people really want to buy your product, is at Christmas. But these are some other things that I made, and I don't remember what year I made them, and they sold pretty good for me. But my problem with them was I loved them so much I didn't want to get rid of them. So I made them from underneath there. You can see I've wrapped it in ribbon. But if Granny used to work in a dress factory, and they would give them they give them a lot of stuff. The fabric nobody wanted anymore sometimes, like if there was something wrong with it. And also like the thread didn't just come on little spools, it come on big spools like this. So that's like a cone shape, and that was a spool. And Granny, a crafter, she was creative, so she'd bring them all home. So underneath that, that's what that is. That bottom part is actually as part of a snuff lid on a jar of snuff. Pap did dip snuff until he did finally quit. Anyway, and then I glued the little lady's head on it and painted it. And then her wings are actually like from a flower, from an artificial flower. And then that's an old handkerchief that's her dress. Her hair is just kind of black thread. And then her little hat is a part of an old earring. And then, of course, the wreath and the tree and the little necklace is just random Christmas decorations that I had. And I would love to make these again, maybe someday. This one's is not a nice one. I like it because it doesn't have the snuff thing though, so you can see that's the cone that the thread come on. But again, it's got a vintage handkerchief that I had from somewhere, and then the wings. Her little necklace is hung up in the leaves of that are making up her wings. There, now I got her necklace was all tangled up, but now I got it fixed. So this one, I made this one too. Of course, I made all these. Again, a vintage handkerchief. This one's kind of more fancy. You can see her fancy earring there that I've used for a hat. Kind of see the spangles, the sparkles around the tree. And I don't know if I had her holding something. If I did, it's gone. But I think it was just that. I like the little Santa down there at the end too, at the bottom. And then it's, of course, on a snuff jar. This one's kind of more simple. It's got the snuff lid. And that was like a little, if you can see, it says Merry Christmas. And that was like a little thing that you put either in a cake or a cupcake or something like that. And I kept it, just a pine cone, just some little paper leftovers from a present or a packing, some kind of package that I got. But I like the silver with the blue and then the red on that one. And her wings are a little bit different. Instead of a flower, they're more of like a piece of muslin or something like that. This last one that I'll show you, it's more kind of streamlined. It's got the snuff lid on the bottom. It says Oh Holy Night. I think of her as more like a woodland one with just her leaves as wings. Again, she's got the silver hat though. I like the little brown and the red up at the top. And this fabric, it's different. It's not a vintage handkerchief like the others. That's a piece of fabric that's like a snowy Christmas scene. Not snowy so much, but it looks like Christmas. It's got little Christmas trees, says Christmas on it. It's got kind of the little house with smoke coming out of it, and some little kids running around here and there. And Granny, because she was so creative, another thing she loved to do and still loves to do is to sew. And so she would make at Christmas, she would tablecloths, curtains, napkin like cloth napkins, doilies, all those things, pillowcases, sheets, blankets, whatever. She would make them all to match. So she would buy a pattern or a Christmas fabric like that with a pattern on it, and then make all kinds of things out of it. So I have a tablecloth out of that same fabric, and then she crocheted a green edge around it. It's really pretty. So that was a piece of extra fabric that I'm sure she'd give me to say, you know, Tipper, can you do anything with this? And that's what I did with it. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about some of my Christmas memories. You know I'm sentimental. If you watch my videos, all my things have a story, whether it's my frying pans or my Christmas decorations. They all have a story. And that's just how I like things. And I like old things, and I like handmade things. But even even the ones I got at the yard sale, that's not necessarily old, my Santa there, but I like it because of that memory and because I got a good deal. I got it at a yard sale. It was very inexpensive. But even the ones that, you know, the new ones, like the ones I just got this year that I kind of splurged on, they don't have a story in one way because they're new. It's been less than 2 weeks that I've had them, but they already do have a story, because that day Corey and Katie and I spent the day in Gainesville. We had some things we had to do down there, but then we just went out. We went to eat, you know, and we got to shop a little bit, and we just had the best time. We had such a good time. And then, you know, lots of fun, laughter, and talk, and deep conversation, and all those wonderful things, just us together. You know, when you go on long car drives, you can get into some serious conversations. And then on the way back, the last place we were shopping at was on the other side of Gainesville, and we didn't want to come back all through traffic because it was a Friday afternoon. So I said, I bet if you let's put, you know, close to home, whatever, in GPS, even though we knew how to get home, I said, I bet it'll take us some way that avoids all that traffic where we would go. So that's what we did. So we ended up coming halfway, well, right before you start up the mountain, if you're familiar with Gainesville Mountain. But anyway, all on the back roads from where we were at. And we just loved it. We were just seeing houses that we had never seen. It's so wonderful to ride through countryside that you've never seen before, and look at people's houses and wonder about the people that live there, and wonder where they go to town and where they go to school. And but by the end of it, it took us on some winding roads. We were wondering, well, where are we going to come out? And we were betting where we was going to come out, and we were all right. But then 2 or 3 times we changed our mind and was like, well, I don't know where in the world we're going to come out. Anyway, but so all those wonderful memories are now tied. Those are my stories for those trees. So if I do this video again next year, I'll be telling you that story of us, me and Corey and Katie, riding around in the back roads of between here and Gainesville, Georgia. So I hope you did enjoy hearing about it. And I'm going to get Corey, and we've got to get started because we've got to get all this stuff put up so that I can cook supper for Matt. Once we get it put up, we'll be sure to show you how it turns out. One of Corey's creations from a long time ago.